and come to standing when you're ready. And lift and roll your shoulders. And breathing in, raise your hands up. Reverse your palms. Stretch up. And then turn to the left. Come to center. Turn to the right. Come to center. Go to one side in a lateral stretch. Come to center. Go to the side, the other side in another lateral stretch. Come to the center. Lift your heels and just test your balance. Very good. And then lower your heels. Lower your arms back down to your waist, giving space for your lungs. And then step your feet a little bit apart, hip width apart, and just bend your knees. Bottom goes away from you. Perhaps look along the floor so that your neck is lengthened or extended. And then pressing your feet into the ground as you come up to standing. Lift and roll your shoulders. Clasp behind you, aiming your knuckles to the ground. And turn to the left. Come to the center. And turn to the right. And come to the center. Release your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders again. Raise your right arm. Stretch it up. Breathing out, turn your head away from your right arm. Breathe in, come to the center. And breathe out, lower your right hand. Breathing in, raise your left hand. Stretching up. Breathe out, turn your head away from your left hand. Come back to the center with your head. And breathing out, lower your left arm. Lift and roll your shoulders. Hakini Mudra is bringing the tips of the fingers together and just looking softly at them. It's something we might do naturally. We've got a lot of energy emanating from our fingers, and normally that energy escapes to the ether. But this is believed to bring the energy back internally and to focus the mind. It's actually also, if you bring your attention or focus to your fingers, it's a light engagement of the mind, which is then a focus for the mind, or perhaps rather than anything else. And just then release and lift and roll your shoulders. Breathing in, hands up, touch your palms. Breathing out, palms together as you bring them through the heart center, bending your knees and elbows to touch the floor. Breathing in, straighten your legs a little bit and lengthen along your spine and flat back from the tailbone to the top of the head. Breathing out, bend your knees and bend your elbows. And press your feet down to roll up to standing, vertebra by vertebra. Circle your wrists up. Stretch your fingers out like sun rays. And then circle your wrists down. Turn your head to the left. Turn your head to the right. Left, and then to the right. Once more left, and then to the right. And then drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Tuck your chin in. If you feel that you want extra support, raise your right hand and just bring your right hand to the side of your left head. Careful not to exert too much pressure on your head, but what feels good for you. And then you could optionally bring your left hand to the left shoulder, or just let the left hand relax. Breathing in, bring your head back to the centre. And then breathing out, turn to the other left direction, bringing your left ear towards your left shoulder. Tuck your chin in and feel the stretch on the outside of the right shoulder. And then additionally, you can bring your left hand over the head and just increase or accentuate that stretch slightly. You can just bring your fingers to the shoulders. And then breathing in, bring your head back to centre. Come now, we're going to start the practice. So come now to lying on the floor as we start at the base chakra, which is at the base of the spine. And this base energy centre is the Muladhara chakra, and each chakra correlates to part of our hormonal balance. So not surprisingly, this connects to our reproductive system. So even though one might not need one's reproductive system, my understanding is that it's still good to keep energetic pathways still moving in that direction. And also it's at really the base of where everything starts. So come to lying, knees bent. Just get to being comfortable. And that might mean pressing your feet into the ground to lift your bottom. And then you can either keep your knees bent or gradually extend your legs to the floor as we go on. It's your choice. Well, we start by bending the left knee and hugging the left knee into the chest. You can keep your right knee bent and right foot on the floor, or you can begin to extend your right foot along the mat, which is a greater stretch. And this is a variation on a pose called Apanasana. Apana is the foundational of the 5 energies, and asana is a Sanskrit name for pose. So Apanasana has many variations, but it connects in to something called the Vata element in Ayurveda, which is the medicine side of yoga. And Vata is connected with the elements represented in our body. The Ayurvedic and Chinese systems are slightly different, but they do overlap. And Vata connects with air and movement, and is also associated with pain. If the Vata dosha is out of balance, there's pain that connects to that. So the Apana pose is very good for anti-pain. And you can see it mimics almost the fetal pose on one side. So then drop your hands underneath your left thigh and raise your left foot to the ceiling and extend your left heel. And point and flex your left toes a couple of times before you start to circle your left ankle in one direction. And then circle the ankle in the other direction. And then optionally, you can start to walk your hands up the back of the left leg, bringing the left leg towards you. And you can stay here, or you can optionally lift your head up towards your left knee and just then replace your head back down onto the mat. Bend your left knee so that it goes outwards and place your left ankle on top of your right leg, above your right knee. Your hands at this point can rest on your abdomen, or they can rest palms down on the floor. And just gently start to sway both knees from side to side. How much you sway is up to you. Your hips might like to lift off the floor. You can bring your knees almost to the ground, really going over, which will slow your swaying down. Or just keep it to a minimal light massage from side to side. And then very gently remove your left ankle and place your left foot back onto the floor. You can always take a moment to adjust, but just gently sway both knees from side to side. Bringing your knees back to center and then bringing up your right knee and hugging your right knee in towards your chest. So Apanasana now on the right side. In yoga therapy, we start with the best side, so the side with least pain or twinges, and then move to the worst side and spend longer on that side. And quite often people who, particularly who are right-handed, will have, if they have any niggles on, will have niggles on the right side. Not always, but it can often follow that the right side is much more compromised. And this kind of makes sense because the right side connects to our areas of frustration and irritation, life's little knocks and bangs, and that connects through to the liver and gallbladder, which are more on the right side. So then dropping your hands to underneath your right thigh. Your left foot at this point can still be bent, knee up to the ceiling or stretched up along the mat. And then gently extend your right foot up towards the ceiling and extend your right heel. And point and flex your right foot a couple of times. And then very gently circle your right foot in one direction. And then circle your right foot in the other direction. Moving through the ankle joint. Just waking up the circulation. Waking up the feet. And then you can slowly walk your hands up the back of your right leg, bringing your right leg towards you. Optionally, how far you bring your leg. And then the other option is to lift your head up towards your right extended leg. And if that feels stressful on your neck, you can always drop your left hand to support your head and neck as you lift up towards your foot. You won't go very far towards your right leg. And then breathing out, release the head back down to the ground. Bend your right knee into your chest once more and turn your right knee out to the right, placing your right ankle on top of your left leg, your left thigh. And just very gently with your hands either palms down or resting on your abdomen, sway both knees from side to side, and you can lift your hips off the ground as you're doing that. It's a very nice massage across the top of the bottom, base and the lower back. And then very, very gently come to bring your knees to the centre. Remove your right ankle and place it back down on the floor. Feet hip width apart, knees up to the ceiling. And then just very gently sway both knees from side to side. And then just bring your knees back to the centre. Hug one knee into the chest and then hug the other knee. Both knees are hugged into the chest. Sway both knees from side to side so you rock over the base of the centre of your back. It's a slightly different focus. And then coming to bringing your knees to the centre. Breathing in, extend both feet to the ceiling and both arms stretch up and behind you. You can extend your heels. And breathing out, bend your knees back into your chest, hugging them back into your chest using your hands. Breathing in, extend both soles of the feet to the ceiling and the arms go back behind you. And then breathing out, bend your knees back into your chest. Slide your hands down your shins and open your knees out to the side so you're holding above your ankles, and this will open up your inner groin. It's like a seated Baddha Konasana. So you are creating space at the lower part of the body, connecting into the lymph system. Just gently breathing in and out. Stretching the inner thigh at the top. And then hug your knees back into your chest. And just rock from side to side. And then rock either up or come over to the side, the right side perhaps, to come in your own time to a seated position. And here come to have your legs out in front of you. Just bounce your legs. Either tap or rub your legs as well, just boosting the circulation. And that can be extended to the entire body. You don't have to keep it to your legs. Just anywhere is quite helpful. Just lightly touch your hands to either side of you, which will lengthen you, encourage you to sit up and lengthen your spine. And cross your left leg over your right. Raise your right arm upwards and then bring your right hand to the outside of your left thigh. Your left hand goes behind you, lengthen as you breathe in, and you'll naturally turn to look over your left shoulder. Breathing in and out. So we've started to move up the body, although you won't be aware of that, and we're now at the centre, by the navel area, as we twist round to the side. And then very gently come back to the centre. Hands either side of you as you uncross your left leg. Just lightly tap the big toe joints together. That's a Kundalini exercise to increase the vibration of the body. And then very gently cross your left leg over your right, which I'm going to alter because I think we've just done that. Your right leg over your left. Sorry. Breathing in as you raise your left arm up, and breathing out as you turn to the right, just lightly holding your right thigh with your left hand. Right hand behind you. As you breathe in, lengthen your spine, and breathe out, turn to the right. You're breathing in and out. And the energy that we're looking at this mid-navel rotation is the samana energy. It very much connects to our digestive enzymes, but connecting also to our manipura center, and this connects to our personal, when I say personal power, it's how we appear in the world, but very much connected to digestion and transformation. And then breathing, come back to the center, unravel, take your, just come to straight legs in front of you, bounce your legs, and then very gently come to a Baddha Konasana, which is soles of the feet together, and holding your ankles or just above your ankles, lengthen your spine, and breathing out, just come forward, and just bring your big thumbs to massage the soles of your feet. So the soles of the feet in reflexology they reflect the whole body. So the big toes are at the top of the head, and where we are massaging the soft part of our insoles connects, at the top is our solar plexus, and as we go down it's our intestines. So the body is mat. And if you're interested in your immune system, the tops of the feet, in between the little bones, if you just run a finger or pads of the fingers down in the little gaps, connects into your immune system. It can quite often feel quite sore. Your immune system is just being strained a little bit. And then come to a cross-legged position. Hands either side of you. As you breathe in, raise your right hand up and slide your left hand along away from you. You can even come onto your left elbow, but you don't have to. Just really stretching out. The aim is to keep heavy really in your hips, but that's difficult. You tend to lift up your, in my case, my right hip. Tummy in to press down to lift you upright again. And then slide your right hand out towards the right as you lift your left arm up. Tuck your chin in. You can look either up or down. And in fact, you can turn your head down and look at your right hand. That's another option. And then pressing your hand down to support you as you come upright. And then walk the hands slightly forward. Not a lot, just a forward movement. Just take a breath in and out here. And then come to your hands and knees as we do a simple cat-cow, and then carry on. We'll be coming up to standing. So come to hands and knees. Hands are hip width, hands are shoulder width apart, and knees are hip width apart. And just gently sway your hips from side to side. Come to the centre and gently dip your back cat as you either look up or along the floor. That depends on your neck capacity. Classically, you would look up, breathing out round your back, chin to chest, cow. Breathing in, dipping your back, cat. And breathing out as you round your back, chin to chest, cow. And one more time as we breathe in, dipping the back, cat. This time as we start to round the back, chin to chest, cow. Tuck your toes under and come to adjust your hands if you need to your downward dog. You can push your bottom away from you and up behind you, and that takes weight off your wrists as you then begin to stretch out your legs. You can still keep them soft. Feel that you can adjust your feet and walk the dog by bending one knee and then the other knee. And then very gently, as you're bending one knee and the other knee, Start to walk your feet to your hands and your hands to your feet. We're going to be coming into a forward bend, and from there, just soften your knees to let yourself come forward, supporting your torso. And from there, press your feet into the ground as we roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. And we come to move from the navel centre to the heart centre. So come to the top of the mats. On a day like today, salute to the sun. There are so many variations. Inhale, exhale, hands together at the heart centre. Inhale, hands up, either looking ahead or looking up, stretching your fingers. Breathing out, roll down. Hands either side of you, your feet. Step or stretch your right foot back. Stretch the heel up and keep the leg high. And then drop the right knee to the ground. And again, just enjoy that stretch in the hips. Then bring your left foot back so that you're kneeling. And very gently, cat-cow again. And as you cow, tuck your toes, coming into a downward dog. Feel that you can adjust your feet. Perhaps walk the dog and sway from side to side. Stretch both legs. The heels don't have to touch the ground, of course, and you can bend your legs and stretch them out again, bend them and stretch them out. And then bend both knees back down to the earth. Hands go to the left and your right foot comes up. Hands either side of your right foot and just again stretch forward. Here you can let your knee drift beyond the 90-degree angle because you're supporting your weight with your hands and therefore you're taking the weight off the knee joint. But to come up or put any weight on your right leg, bring your knee back to a 90 degrees on your right side so that the support is in place. Then you tuck your left toes, lift your left knee and step your left foot to your right foot. Press your feet into the ground as you roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Raising your hands up, stretching your hands upwards. Lower your arms, lift and roll your shoulders, and this time clasp behind your back. Aim your knuckles to the ground, which opens you at the chest level. It naturally lifts your chest, which is an uplifting back bend movement. Bring your head back to centre, separate your hands and slide your fingers down the backs of your legs to either side of your feet. And step your left foot back, stretching it out. Keep your left leg high, left heel up to the ceiling. Then lower your left knee back down to the ground. And then slide your right leg back. Come into cat and come into cow. As you come into cat again, as you round into cow, tuck your toes, come into downward dog, lengthen, stretch back, and then walk the dog, bending one knee and then the other knee. Even here, you're bringing your tummy or your lower abdominal muscles slightly in towards your spine, which encourages you to slightly engage your perineum, and this means that your core is active throughout, but it is so easy to forget that, or it is easy for me to forget that. And then gently bend both knees back down to the ground, and this time your hands go to the right to give space for your left foot to come up, and then your hands go either side of your left foot. And again, you can stretch forward into the hip, beyond your 90 degrees. But in order to come up, bring yourself back so that your left knee is a 90 degree, and that gives you maximum support. to be able to press down on your left foot, tucking your right toes under, lifting your right knee and stepping your right foot towards your left foot. Press your feet into the ground and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up and lower your hands. Lift and roll your shoulders. And this time we're going to do something, I don't often do this, but sliding your hands down, bending your knees. And we're going to be stepping back into dog again. And from walking the dog, step the left foot slightly forward, lift the right leg up so as you're in a three-legged dog. You can bend your right knee, that's optional. Come back to three-legged dog and then come forward. So we're going to come into pigeon if you're wondering where I'm going with this. Bending your left knee and sliding your right foot forwards. Left foot slides back. You can wiggle your right foot to the left, but it depends on your knee capacity. And this is a very helpful hip opener, but only if your knees are okay, of course. You can keep the weight off your knee by lifting up, but if you really want to hang out here, you can come forward, resting your elbows on the ground or resting your entire body on the ground and stretching your arms out as little or as much as you would like. So the hip here, the right hip, you can feel it's getting an excellent stretch. There are, of course, options within pigeon, and it was very much the signature pose of Iyengar, one of the gurus, yoga gurus, because he had breathing difficulties. The pigeon pose, where you puff your chest out, which is a variation, allowed him, it was increasing his lung capacity. But to come out of it, move your hands back, come upright again, and then slide your right leg back, tuck your toes and come into dog again. This time bring your right foot slightly forward, only an inch or two, lift your left foot up into three-legged dog, and you can open by bending your left knee, open out to the side, but then come to straighten your left leg back into three-legged dog, and bending the knee, slide the front left knee up, bending it, bring it to the floor, and your right leg goes behind. You can feel in pigeon that you can lift up on your hands. The true pigeon, which I can't do, is bending your your right back leg and getting hold of that and coming up, almost coming behind, so that you're almost creating a circle, which is wonderful but impossible for me. I have to have a lot of support to do that with long sort of ties to get up there. And then coming forward as an option to rest on your hands, perhaps your elbows could be straight or bent. So you can feel here that you're really opening the left hip. It can be deeply satisfying. Classically, you come into and go out of pigeon from downward dog. Classically. And so coming up, hands either side of your left knee, slide your left knee back, tuck into downward dog, just stretch out, walking the dog perhaps and going from side to side. And then walking your feet to your hands to your feet.
Come to a forward bend by bending your knees, stretching out your lower back. Press your feet into the ground to roll up vertebra by vertebra.
And we're just going to come to hands on the waist and just test your balance by lifting your heels again. And breathing out. Lower the heels. Come to sway from side to side. And this is moving all 5 energies. So Apana at the base, Samana going from side to side, Prana, which is our all-pervasive air inside us, Udana is an upward energy. It often gets compromised in people who then go on to develop Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, so it goes through the throat as expression. You've got Vyana, which is all pervasive. So all these energies are being moved as we go from side to side. And then just gently start to slow down and come to a standstill. Just note your standing posture, pressing your feet into the ground, lifting and rolling your shoulders back. Just try lifting your toes up and notice how evenly you're balanced. Put your toes down again and see if they reconnect to the floor in a slightly different way so that your energy is more balanced. If you tense your knees, it lifts your knees up and you engage the muscles either side of your leg, particularly the internal muscles. You have an awareness of them and release your knees. Once more, turn your head from side to side. Come to the centre. And then bringing the hands to the heart, we're going to come back down to the earth. So go working from the heart, we're going to the throat area. So we're coming onto the back, knees bent, feet hip width apart. And hands or palms down or resting on the abdomen. And just pelvic tilt by flattening the back and then releasing so that there's a little gap under the back. Flattening and then releasing. This time bend your elbows, raise your elbows up above you and hold either your elbows, or if that's too strong, just slide your hands so that you're holding somewhere on your forearms or on your wrists. And just enjoy the stretch upwards, opening out under the arms. So now we're looking at the lymph in the upper part of the body. Creating space, the energetic pathways for the upper part of our bodies. Checking that your feet are closer towards your bottom and they're still hip width apart. Press your feet down, your hands stay where they are above your head. Press your feet down and lift your bottom upwards. Your chin might want to tuck down towards your chest, that's fine. And then breathing out, lower your bottom back down to the ground. You keep your arms above you. And just release, relax, rest. Just perhaps move your knees gently from side to side. And once more, press your feet into the ground, lift your bottom vertebra by vertebra, upwards, your chin tucks into your chest. And then breathing out, lower your bottom back down to the ground. And this time, lower your elbows to and then hug the knees into the chest. And just gently rock from side to side. And this time, just place one hand close to your bottom
So palms down, close to your bottom, almost as the thumb could almost go under your bottom. And then the other hand, very close to your bottom. The thumb could almost go underneath it. You could roll from side to side. And then just lift both feet up to the ceiling. If you prefer to hold the backs of your legs, then please do that as well. And just seaweed very gently by moving or swaying your feet from side to side. In Tibetan yoga, they classically would do this by resting the bottom on a bolster, so the support is given to you. So perhaps I might remember to flag up, have a bolster nearby or a cushion. But you don't necessarily need that. You can use your hands to support you. So this becomes an inversion, which is balancing for the endocrine system. You might not want to be able to stay up here with your legs swaying from side to side for too long. But if you are interested in further hormonal balance, then you can put your feet up against the wall, and that will, with various options of head support, or over a chair, and you can stay there a little bit longer. But then bend your knees, hugging your knees into your chest, and once more just gently rock from side to side. And now hug your knees into your chest, and still holding your knees, let both knees drift away from you to arm's length. So you're moving up and down your spine, right over that as you do, repeat that a few times. You're moving your spine up and down right over the L4, L5, lower back lumbar area that can get so much wear and tear and can be the cause of so much lower back issues. So this is very soothing. You're using the weight of your body to massage yourself really, so you're pressing down and then there's a release of blood as you rock up and down. And the gentle stretch of the back's being supported by the floor. Or the earth, so you've got that support, very unlikely to do yourself any damage. I mean, even people who are very compromised in their backs can generally manage to do this and find this very soothing. And then very gently let one foot and then the other foot come down to the floor. Your feet are hip width apart, your knees are up towards the ceiling. And we come to moving in our energy journey up to the third eye. Just very gently take the fingers of one hand. I've got my second, third and fourth finger. And I'm making little circles. It doesn't matter which way you go, just little circles, massaging around the centre of the forehead. Your fingers will naturally find a little dent in the forehead. Some people see colours. It's connected into the pineal glands, my understanding. But it's, as I say, connected to the third eye. It can be deeply soothing again to just soft massage around your third eye. And then just move, you can use both fingers, just bring your fingers to the top of your crown, just connecting to the crown chakra. They've all got their own specialised names, both in Ayurveda and in Chinese traditional medicine. But just connecting to the crown of the head connects into the crown chakra, which is reputedly meant to connect us with the outside world. It's where our antennae go out for vibes and atmospheres, just picking up on the outside world. So again, your hands are just often resting either side. If they meet at the top of the head, then your hands are resting either side of your head, and that's deeply soothing as well. They naturally, the palms of your hands come to the dent, the upper part of the temples on your either side of your head. So just breathing in and out. And then just very gently releasing your hands and placing your hands back either on the abdomen or one hand on the abdomen and one hand slightly higher at the solar plexus level. Just connecting into sense of self. You'll notice a very soft, gentle movement of breathing in, and the hands move slightly as the abdomen expands to accommodate the in-breath and just subtly moves away as we breathe out. And while we're here, take a moment to have a thought for the day, setting your intention. There's nothing for you to do, you can just mentally think of that intention. It can be a wish for yourself or for somebody close to you. And then let that thought move away, you've set the intention. Staying where you are, bring the palms of the hands together, thumbs at the third eye, your elbows will lift up. And take a mental bow for yourself to enjoy the very lovely day ahead. Glorious sunshine today. And thank you very much for joining me. You can stay lying where you are and drifting off. You can come to a seated position. It's entirely up to you. But thank you very much for joining me.